Hey friends, I wanted to bring an encouraging word to you today. Do you ever feel like you're running on empty? I think most of life we're always trying to fill things up, and our success and our health is depending on what we're feeling and do we have everything ready and in place. But what do you do when you're feeling empty? What do you do when you're in a season of life and you're broken and you're tired and you're weary? I was reading this morning in the book of 2 Kings and a famous prophet named Elisha. And go read this story. In chapter number 4, there was a woman whose husband had died. She was now a widow. She had some children, and she had no way to produce income. They were in debt, and they were literally about to come take her children into slavery to pay off some of her debt. And then she was in trouble. She was completely broken. And so she goes to the prophet Elisha, and she says, I need your help. I don't know what we're going to do. And there's this wonderful story where Elisha, again, go read this because it's incredible. He says, well, what do you have? And she said, the only thing we have left is a small container of oil. And Elisha says, okay, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go around to all of your neighbors, and I want you to borrow as many empty jars as you can. He didn't tell her to go borrow oil. He said, I want you to go find empty jars and get as many as you can. And then I want you to bring them home. And then I want you to close the door. And I want you to take the little bit of oil you have, and I want you to start pouring it into the empty jars. See, I was thinking this morning that she had empty jars. Nothing inside. This was the key. Not the one that had the oil in it. And this is water. But it was not the one that had the liquid in it. It was the key was how many empty jars did she have? And so she began to pour. And when she filled that one up, she moved it to the side. And she got another empty jar, nothing in it. And so she began to pour. And she filled that one up. And then she moved it to the side. And then she got another one, an empty jar. This was the key. How many empty jars could she have? That was the key to the miracle. And she filled it up. More and more, and then moved it to the side. Give me another one. Give me another empty jar. Not a jar that's already full, but an empty jar with nothing inside. And she began to fill. And it was only when she said, give me another jar, and they said, we don't have anything left, that nothing could flow out of the one that had it. I don't know how many jars she had. Did she have 10 empty jars? Did she have 20, 50? I don't know. But here's what I know. If she'd have had 1,000 empty jars, I believe that one little jar of oil that she started with would have continued to pour and fill up every single jar. And here's what I was thinking about this morning, and I hope this encourages you. The key to this story was not how much oil she started with. The key to the miracle had nothing to do with the one jar that was full of anything. The key to the miracle was how much emptiness she had. The key to the miracle was how many jars she had with nothing on the inside. What God truly wants to bless is the empty places of our life. And I think so many times the reason why the oil stops flowing, why the blessing of God stops flowing, is because we simply run out of brokenness. We simply run out of emptiness. We simply run out of nothingness. Everything in our life is already full of something. What God says is that I want to keep pouring my spirit, my blessing, my favor, my healing, my provision into your life. But I can't do that unless you bring me an empty jar. For some of us, we need to take some places, some jars, some containers in our life, and we need to dump some things out to make some more room for God to pour in. Some of us need to go around and look at all of the emptiness that we are so upset about and so broken about, thinking that it's some kind of a curse in our life. It's not a curse. Your brokenness and your emptiness is a blessing that God wants to fill. The moment we stop bringing something for God to fill is the moment that He will stop pouring out blessing. God has unlimited blessing, unlimited oil, but the only thing that stops Him from pouring into our lives is us bringing Him an empty container. So when we say, God, here's an empty container, my marriage is empty, He says, no problem. I can fill that. God, my job, I just feel so empty. He says, no problem. I can pour my spirit and bless you in your business and bless you on your job. God, my finances are empty. I'm in debt. I don't know what we're going to do. That's okay. If you'll honor me, if you'll tithe and bless me first and seek my kingdom, I can pour my spirit into that. And every area of our life that we will bring God that is empty, He will continue to fill until we come to the place where we say, I have nothing left to bring you that's empty, God. What God is wanting us to do today is to not look at the empty places, not look at how weary we are. Maybe you're in a season where you feel like you have poured everything you've got out and you don't know what to do next. You are in the right place. Because all God wants you to do is show up and say, God, here I am. I'm empty and I don't know what I'm going to do next. God wants to begin pouring. Don't stop bringing Him the empty places of your life. And if you're looking at your life saying, I'm doing pretty good, I don't even have any empty places, my gut tells me, if you look around, there are some things you need to pour out. Maybe there's some things we need to empty out because we've got too much of other things to make room for God. So I want to encourage you this morning. May we be like the woman that Elisha was able to minister to, who was thinking it was over, and the one little jar she had was all, and it wasn't enough. And here's what happened in the story. She took all the jars that she filled up, and Elisha told her, I want you to go sell them, and I want you to take the money you make and go pay off all of your debts. And then he said, I want you to take the extra, the surplus, and I want you to live on the extra. Friends, I'm believing that God is going to fill your life so much that He's going to satisfy every need, every longing, every hurt, every pain, every desire. He's going to heal every wound that you have in your life. He's going to fix everything that is broken. And when it's all said and done, you're going to be to a healthy place. And then He's going to give you extra abundance, overflow that's going to take you into the next season of your life. So go get some empty jars. Don't be distraught about the empty places that you're feeling right now. It's actually a setup for the blessing that God wants to give you in your life. So may we go find some empty containers. Let's bring them to the Father because He wants to do some miracles in your life.